Welcome back to the shed, guys. We're back on Michael's car again. There's Michael. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Steve.
Say hi to everyone else.
And everyone else. Hi.
Yeah, so we're slinging up the engine at the moment, putting it on the engine crane. So the timing chain and that's been replaced. A couple gaskets and that. We've still got to put the alternator on. We need a bracket for that because the one that came with the engine was bent and it was missing the tensioner. But we're going to get ready to put the engine back in. We welded one of the chassis brackets. Well, two of the brackets, two front ones. We've still got to do the next lot yet. But yeah, we want to put the engine in. That way we can start looking at wiring and where the computer's going to go. I'll weld the other brackets on before the gearbox goes in. Yeah, so let's set you up and yeah, hopefully this is the last time the engine goes in. Shouldn't have to come out again. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
So, yeah,
The idea.
that's the idea. So cool. Okay, so the engine is sitting in there. We actually even ended up getting different engine mounts, didn't we, Michael?
Yes, we did.
So we got a second set, spare set from Wreckers, original Colorado or D-Max, I'm not sure which ones, but as soon as we put them beside the ones that we had, they were so much different. They actually lined up, the holes lined up with the pin and so forth. And we also got a pair of Michael from Aussie 4J conversions that he uses. And the difference from the ones that we had that were aftermarket but supposedly genuine replacement type just was so far out it wasn't funny. So as you can see there, once we got it lined up, it literally fell in. So it's sitting on the engine mounts now. We're just looking for the bolts to bolt it to the mount. And then, yeah, we'll tinker away with wiring and so forth, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, the engine's in. So hopefully it doesn't come out again. That's the theory, so cool. Okay, so back at it. We've got word from our engineer. These plates, you can see one up in here. We've already started cutting it. They want us to cut these off as neat as we can, not to grind marks into the chassis. They want the chassis plates to sit nice and flush. So I've got that one. I've got another one under here I've got to do. And these couple So yeah, they want the actual chassis plates that we're doing to sit flush, and these sit out good 3 or so mil. So I've starting to do this one now, because we want to get these ones in so we can put the gearbox and that back in. And the mount that was round about here where the gearbox crossmember goes, they said doesn't really do much, so we can leave that off. So that's what we're going with at the moment. So I'm going to keep cutting these away. So it's a bit hard to get the grinder up in there. So so I've cut this one to round about there. I'm going to try and tear the last little bit, and I'll probably try and sand these welds a little bit. I've given them a bit of a cut, but I'm probably going to have to sand it and get a cold chisel up in there to break it all off. Sand the welds flat on the chassis, and then put our chassis bracing plate onto there. So I'll keep at it. Okay, so you got that off. There is on the ground there. So I resorted to, as you saw, the air hammer. So they start to rust a little bit. Don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. So the air hammer's put a couple of scratches in it, but there's no gouges or anything, which is good. So the weld bits that are left, I'll sand them off nice and flush. I'll clean up that plate, because that plate actually wraps over the top and comes down this other side here. So, but the engineer is happy for us to take them off. They'd rather have the full chassis plates sitting flush. So I'll get into cleaning that up now, and then I'll start welding this one on. This one's already clamped in place. I still got to remove that one there as well. So I'll continue on with that. Okay, so I've got them all sanded back and cleaned up. They're looking pretty nice. So like I say, the air hammer and the chisel just sort of give it a rub, and then just give it a light sand, and those marks go away. So nice and neat. I'll put some more copper spray over that, and then I'll start putting the plates on, tack them in, and then start welding. So get on with it. Okay, so I've got the driver's side one tacked in. A little bit hard to see, but you get the idea of it. So I've got the other one sitting here. The engineer wants us to weld 50 mil, then miss 50 mil, hit 50 mil, miss 50 mil, etc. So I've just, let's see, just run around with it with texture. That way I tack where the marks are. All my tacks are at the start and ends of the welds. So I'll set that up. I'll put this one in now, and I'll end up calling it a day once I've got that one in. I'll come back at it tomorrow. Today's Friday. Michael will be back in tomorrow, so I thought I'll get a head start and get these going before he turns up, because as I weld it, I only weld a couple, then let it cool out. weld a couple, let it cool out. So it takes a while for it to get welded up, each section. So, and tomorrow hopefully we'll get the gearbox in it, so it'll be great. So it's coming along. Okay, so I got the passenger second plate tacked in now. So yeah, come back in tomorrow, start welding it. So as you saw there, I was wire brushing the actual copper weld through primer off, because when I was welding these front ones, the welder doesn't like it. I've used copper weld through primer before, U-pole, and it's been awesome. This one, I'm not going to name and shame it. I was talked into it by my local paint supply place, and yeah, not a fan. So it was just, you probably see some of the tacks there. It was just big globs of weld falling everywhere. So tomorrow I'll actually put some overalls on to weld this. I'm not in the mood to get burnt. It was throwing so much of the weld out. Half of it was coming out and half of it was staying in. So I'm not a fan of it. But yeah, so come back in tomorrow, keep welding. Hopefully we'll get the gearbox back in. So at the moment I've got the flywheel and everything on, the speaker bearings being put in. So yeah, because we've had to, you got to use Colorado flywheel, obviously, Colorado clutch, which is actually the same spline as a Patrol gearbox, but the spigot on the Patrol is a millimeter smaller, so you got to use that, and the clutch lining tool doesn't fit, so we've had to get that machine down a little bit. So it's like the little plastic tool that comes with the clutch kit. So we've got that, getting that machine down, and hopefully Michael will have that with him tomorrow. But yeah, right, catch you then. See you guys. Okay, now I'm just gonna let it cool for a bit. I'm only gonna do a few 4 welds on each side, let it cool out, come back, weld some more. So it's gonna be me for the day, I think. Okay, they've cooled out. Time to do another 4. Okay, let that cool out again and come back and do some more.